Hello and welcome to our channel, or welcome back to our channel, How We Move the Decimal. In the video today, I am photographing undated slides. A lot of times when the slides are made, they have the date on them. So like they would say at least the year stamped on them. These did not. I have no idea when these were made. These were not in a marked box either. And with the other slides that I'd gotten at the estate sale, most of them had been written on with the place or the general date. These had nothing, so I'm going to sell them as a large lot of undated slides. If I had to guess, I would say they were from the late 60s, but there's no way for me to be sure, so I'm not going to put an actual date on them. They will be a lot of vintage undated slides is what they would go for, but I'm still going to list them. I don't know, and I want to say a lot of them were like Hawaii, but there was some Halloween, there was a whole bunch of stuff in there. So vintage undated slides it is. With this, if I have a bunch of undated, I may save them up and do them as a lot and not just as 30 or 40. Just because they're undated, they will usually tend to do better as a larger lot. So I will save those up. In a previous video that I had posted, I talk about lotting scenery up. I lot scenery, flowers, undated slides, all of those souvenir slides all get their own lots. They just tend to sell better as larger lots. But honestly, not that much is selling on eBay right now anyway, but that is how I run the slides. I am hoping, and I'm filming this, or I'm narrating this at the end of April. I think I actually filmed this back in February, so it's taking me that long to get around to narrating. Life's busy, y'all. I'm sorry. All three of you that diligently watch this video, but I'm hoping to have time to film some more stuff before summer craziness starts. Summer's always very busy in our house. Actually, May is I was looking at my calendar for May, and May is just wow. It's just an explosive amount of stuff happening in May. Schools, we have a traditional 9-month school calendar. I know some schools do year round. We just do 9 months here. And the last month of school, it seems like everything is happening the last month of school. And now with not just 2 kids, but 3 kids all in school, we're having a lot more stuff going on, with my oldest having a big transition year. So he's a 6th grader this year and he's transitioning to junior high next year. We're seeing a lot more stuff happen in May and at the end of the school year to help transition into junior high next year. Luckily, he gets to stay in the same building. He just has to move a hallway, which is really nice and why we are very excited to get into this school. But and my 3rd grader will be transitioning into the next grouping of classes. So at our school, it's pre-K 3, pre-K 4, and kindergarten are all in one classroom. First, second, and third are all in one classroom, and 4th, 5th, and 6th are all in one classroom. So there's the big transition years. It is a big transition year for my oldest to my youngest one. It is not. This year was her big transition year. So next, going into next year, they all have big transitions. They are losing teachers that they've had. And the next teacher, at least for my middle child, so my going into 4th grader, her next teacher she will have for 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. And that's just the structure of our school. But we have a lot of, my 6th grader got to play up into the middle school band. So we're not just dealing with elementary band, we're also dealing with middle school band and all of those competitions. We have a competition tonight. We have one at the end of the week. And we have another one in another week, and then another one in another week. So we have 4 competitions coming up. soccer season's going strong, but it keeps getting rained out. We technically should be done with soccer next week, but because of rain delays, we've only actually played 2 games. So we have 4 weeks of soccer left instead of 1, which is unfortunate. It's great that they're making the games up. It's great that the kids aren't losing out on the games, but pushing it that far into May makes it incredibly rough schedule-wise. We not this weekend, but the weekend after is Mother's Day weekend. And that just adds a whole nother level of chaos. Lucky for me and for my husband and for my children, on Mother's Day, all I really want is to be left alone, which gives my husband plenty of time to spend Mother's Day with his mother. I usually just stay at home. I would like to chill out and relax, but what usually happens is I end up doing laundry and cleaning and getting stuff done that it's nice to get done with no interruptions or at my own pace where I'm not feeling rushed to get it done, which is nice. And that's our Mother's Day tradition. We don't tend to buy presents for each other on Mother's and Father's Day, but we do give each other like no questions asked ability to buy stuff when we go on vacation, which is very nice and not feel guilty about it. So when that happens, my goal, and I think I've said it in a previous video, my goal this year when I go on vacation is to find the tackiest t-shirts possible and buy them and wear them. Because I think I've hit that age, I'm not quite 40, but I've hit the age where I don't care anymore. I want to wear tacky t-shirts. I want to wear astronaut cat t-shirts. I want to wear, Bucky's t-shirts. I want to wear really obnoxious. I have one that has a rhinoceros on it and it says save the chubby unicorns. Like, I just want to not care and wear funny t-shirts. Which is going to come in handy when I'm out at all my camping trips. This year I'm going to be wearing funny t-shirts. Also, Walmart has a pretty decent selection of funny t-shirts. I bought some and I ended up reverse tie-dyeing them. And for those of you guys that don't know, reverse tie-dyeing is tie-dyeing but using bleach. So the shirt is already a color, but you bleach that out. And I was very pleased with how a couple of my reverse tie-dyed shirts went. So that was very nice and I was very happy with that. And I always like to upcycle things. So one of the shirts I reverse tie-dyed had been stored, I'm assuming, in the sun because the tops of the shoulders were really faded and bleached out by where it'd been on like a hanger. I never understand why people have windows in their closets. You don't want sun damage to your clothes. You don't want a window in your closet. I grew up with a girl who lived in a Victorian house and it was an absolute gorgeous house. And she had a window in her closet and I never understood that because why would you want the sun to bleach your clothes? I'm guessing the purpose is to wear your clothes so much it doesn't bleach it, but that's what I'm assuming happened to this shirt, that it got bleached out in the sun hanging in someone's closet, and they donated it because it had a very distinctive stripe on the top of the shoulders from a hanger, and I fixed it by reverse tie-dyeing it, so I used bleach to tie-dye it, and I think it turned out really well. And I was quite pleased with myself. However, my house smelled like a hotel pool. According to my kids, when they came home from school, they asked why the house smelled like a pool. So there was lots of bleach fumes in my house, which is not great. And next time I do it, I'll do it when the weather's nicer so I can open a window or even do it outside and so it doesn't smell as much. So, and hopefully the weather is going to get nicer. It's the end of April and I had to turn a space heater on for the past 2 days for my kids. I'm refusing to turn my heat back on, absolutely refusing it. And I don't, those of you that grew up in the Midwest, I don't want to turn my air conditioning on until after Memorial Day. I try to every year to make it to after Memorial Day before I turn the air conditioning on. I don't know if it's some weird, like, dad rule that's been, like, in me, but you don't turn your heat on till after November 1st, and you don't turn your air conditioning on until after Memorial Day, and that's how it's always been. Last year we had to turn it on before because it was the first year we had a pet, and our cat, if you watched previous photographing videos, you will have seen our cat. He is a tuxedo, and last year was our first year having him. So when we went on vacation, and we left before Memorial Day last year, and I had to turn the air conditioning on because I didn't want him to overheat in the house. And it got very hot, and you don't want to leave your windows open when you're on vacation because you don't want someone breaking into your house. You have to have your windows shut and locked, and I didn't want him to suffocate, and I felt really guilty, so I turned the air conditioning on for him, and he was completely chill, and he was fine. We had cat sitters come. He was not alone for 7 days in the house, even though like several people suggested just leave him food and water, he'll be okay for a week. And I felt really bad about that, so we had people come and check on him multiple times a day, so and give us like picture updates and stuff, like here he is, he's fine. And when we leave for vacation this year, we have the same thing going on. We actually have house sitters because we're going to be gone. And when we were gone last time, and this is such a cluster, like when it rains, it pours type scenario. So last February, my glass top on my stove cracked in half. The guys that took the old stove away when they delivered the new one were completely baffled by this. It's just the whole top wasn't like a cracker, this like popped in half. Like you could see the electrical components. It was a really big crack. It sounded like a gunshot went off in my house when it happened. I couldn't figure out what it was. And then I looked at the top of my stove, and the entire top of my stove was cracked. And so that happened in February of last year. And then we went on vacation at the end of the May, and we went to Gulf Shores. I love Gulf Shores. Absolutely loved it. It was our first time there. It was so laid back. We had done beaches in Florida before, and I was kind of dreading going to Gulf Shores with my 3 kids because the beaches in Florida, especially right before Memorial Day weekend, get so crazy and like crowded and everything. But we actually got a rental house in Gulf Shores, and it was absolutely lovely. I loved it, and so much we are going back this year. But we left before Memorial Day, turned the air conditioner on. We get back right before, like, probably the second week of June, and our air conditioner's not working. It was cool in our house, but not as cold as it should have been. It was hovering right around 80. We couldn't figure out what was going on. The guy came out, put more Freon in it because it was really low in Freon, but we couldn't figure out what was going on. It worked for like a week and then stopped working again. So I had to call, and the guy came back out, and we found that one of the copper pipes was just cracked and leaking everywhere. And apparently you can't fix it because it makes the pipe weaker. And so like the only thing you can do is replace the entire air conditioning. So that cost us almost $3,000 to replace our entire air conditioning. But luckily our furnace was really new. Not new now because we've been in our house for so long, but it was new when we bought our house. It was only 2 years old when we bought our house. So we were able to keep our furnace. Otherwise, we were looking around $6,000 to $7,000 to replace it. But yeah, it still sucked, but it was only a couple thousand. So, and that's where all of the stimulus check money we got that year went to a new stove and a new air conditioner, and everyone's like, oh, we have all this money, we have all this stimulus money, what are we going to do with it? And apparently I had to buy an air conditioner and a stove. So, and this year our tax refund went to buying an engine for my van, or partially buying an engine for my van because it was so expensive. But it's like whenever you get money, it just goes through your fingers like sand. But I need to also be grateful that I had the money to go through my fingers like sand. So if I had not gotten that stimulus check, we might have had to take out a loan or put the air conditioner on a credit card or something. And that would have been really, really rough. And this time we had saved up some money. We were actually like, hey, we have a savings account. We're an adult. Look, we have an emergency fund. And then my van had catastrophic engine failure. So we assumed that that was an emergency fund and used that to actually pay for my engine and paid for the rest of it with our tax refund. So we didn't get to use anything for anything fun. There was no fun going on with any of the money we got from the stimulus checks or from our tax refunds. No fun, all adult stuff. But, you know, we're trying to add more fun in our lives and hoping some of our eBay sales money will go to that. But I have to make sales for that to happen, and eBay has been super slow this year. So now enjoy the pictures I took and some digital renderings.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'm not falling. I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and we're all going in life. Still nobody knows, but I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. Back a year ago. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where